you about the cost of breaking into the next dimension. I want to talk to you about the things that we must sacrifice in order to move into the next dimension and why it is important that we should sacrifice. This is Blood, Sweat, and Fears by Sarah Jakes Roberts. In Luke 22:39 it says, coming out, he went to the Mount of Olives as he was accustomed, and his disciples followed him. When he came to the place, he said to them, pray that you may not enter into temptation. And he withdrew from them about a stone's throw away, and he knelt down and prayed. He withdrew himself from the circle that he was once comfortable in. I wonder why he withdrew himself. Considering that he was on his way to the cross, he was on his way to the next dimension, it seemed that there was a part of him that wanted to sort out all of the old times before he stepped into the next dimension. But, isn't it certainly comfortable being complacent in a comfort zone? But for some intentional reason, he withdrew himself, because sometimes you have to give people the ability to be resourceful for themselves. So pray that you may not enter into temptation is a teaching about no longer being dependent on the presence that is working beside you, but you are going to have to search for it a little bit more harder. You know, to think about the next dimension, the next phase of destiny is that you are going to have a hunger for God like never before. That God doesn't play hide and seek, but sometimes he moves from the place where we usually find him to see just how desperately do you need him. You see, the disciples have become complacent, but Jesus was moving. Jesus was moving. Are you moving? And the disciples were following after him. And so he withdrew himself about a stone thrown away. So this is what destiny does. It separates us. What I'm trying to say is that you need to withdraw yourself from the crowd that you are most comfortable in to check where their loyalty lies. Are they loyal to you, or are they loyal to your purpose? See, when people are loyal to you, they're only loyal to you in this dysfunctionness, in this purposelessness. But if they're loyal to your purpose, that means you can evolve and they will still go with you. So come on. Walk with me. Come on, whatever the cost, come on, let's get it together. How tragic is it to find out that the people who are most closest to you are only loyal to you because you pretended to have it together. You see, this is a dark week where we find Jesus, because he is hit with the reality that very soon he is going to be on the cross. That very soon destiny will prevail. How burdening is it to know that millions of lives will be saved for as long as you live out your purpose. So he knelt down and praying, saying, Father, if it is your will, let this cup be taken from me. So Jesus, in reading this text, is holding this cup of destiny, of promise, of possibilities. Everybody is born with this cup, but very few do what it takes to actually manifest this cup. You see, this cup also brings opposition. Opposition convincing you to quit. Opposition convincing you that you may be inadequate. Opposition convincing you that you should pull out before you even began. But Jesus, being Jesus, he said, nevertheless, not my will, but yours be done. Nevertheless, nevertheless, nevertheless. Meaning, if the plan doesn't come to fruition the way I envision, I trust that your will is more perfect than my desire. See, we say this all the time, but the reality is that we cannot do his will while resenting that our will didn't succeed. Everybody wants to surrender, but the true beauty of surrender is when we let go of what we thought had to happen, and we let go and we let God. In verse 43 it says, then an angel appeared to him from heaven, strengthening him. And it says in the next level, and being in agony. But then again it says, he prayed more earnestly, that when the message came, he recognized the message of God, and he prayed more earnestly, and then his sweat became like great drops of blood falling down to the ground, and he sweat his sweat became like great drops of blood falling down to the ground. See, he wasn't playing with this thing. That means he went after destiny with such clarity and such vision that he was shaking. He started shaking up from the inside of him, and his body became an incubator. His body became an incubator, and his sweat became like great drops of blood falling down to the ground, watering the seed of his destiny. And if there is no blood, sweat, and tears, it is not destiny. If there is no blood, sweat, and tears, it is not destiny. See, when God has something for you, He wants you to go after it with such strength and such agility that it causes something and everything from the inside of you to manifest. Are you willing to break out of circles? Are you willing to stay up all night? I want to know if you've got the hustle required for this thing. Can you hustle for this thing? Are you willing to communicate for this thing? You are going to have to stop pretending that you cannot speak. Stop pretending that you're not smart. You are going to have to start declaring it.